give a little history of who I am, what I do for a living, to understand a little better. So I came to this country in 1986. I first came in 1979. My mother is a nurse, and she was invited by my post-wife's wife, and she worked as a private nurse for Mrs. Tolstoy until she passed away. So we moved back to India. My father's a customs officer who has passed away since, but he went back to retire. We came back in 1986, so we've been here since '86. I have no siblings. My parents, I'm the only child. I went back, I guess, in 1979. I met my wife, right? So I know her 42 years. I'm married 35 years. She's the best thing that ever happened. She's a very dear friend. She's a great mother. She's a great wife, and an amazing girl. So, for the grace of God, I got everything that I'm happy. I got three boys, Victor, Nicholas, and Christopher. Victor's married. Nicholas is just got engaged a week and a half ago. And Christopher is 26 years old. All my three kids went to Rockland, right? So we are here. We've been here for 20 years. We've been in health for the other 14 years. Okay? And not out of doctors. I am one of the largest and the only distributor left for T-Mobile in the country. Okay? As you guys understand, that's my core business. That's what I do for a living. I've been doing it for 26 years. We just did a major merger thanks to T-Mobile going after this. We had a great opportunity to merge. So now we have 960 stores nationwide, and we have over 850 co-workers, employees, whatever you want to call them. So we've been in business for 26 years. That is what we do. That's the core business. My kids also run an accessory company. We supply stuff to Costco, to Walmart. I'm not involved in the day-to-day operation, but I'm involved in the financial side of it. So that's the core business, what we do for them. Irene's my CFO, and she's been with me for 20 years. So let's talk a little. Do you have any questions before I go into the golf course? So let's get some misconception of this golf course out. I never went up to the golf course. The town came to me. Okay? And I need everybody to understand. So my son owns a car wash in Highland Falls on Route 9. And there's a place called the Course. It was a gated street. So I happened to buy the Course to make it a gated restaurant. And after going to the town and not getting any approvals, I decided to walk away. So a church came to me and said, would you sell the property? Because here's the keys. We're done. Right? They gave me a lot of money. I walked away. I came to the town and they said, can I lease the catering facility at Patriot Hills? Because I renewed my vows after 25 years in Patriot Hills. Right? So they said no, Incredible Creators has a 30-year contract and they have one more renewal of 10 years. Okay? And it was 20 years. So we looked at the lease, it was a one-sided lease. The only person who could cancel the contract would be Incredible Creators. So we walked away. 4 or 5 months later, we got a call from the supervisor and Tom Baselli and saying, can we come see you? So they came to my office and they said to us, we believe that we have an opportunity for you to take over the catering facility. Would you be interested? I said, sure. They turned around and said, okay, would you consider buying a golf course? I said, okay. I said, listen, I've never bought a golf course, but business is business. I'm sure take over the golf course. Then they came over and they asked, would you also consider buying Letchworth Village? So I said, okay. I said, can you give me some time to think about it, but I'm sure we can do that. So that's how this affair started 4 years ago. Okay? The golf course initial price, they told me, was $11.5 million. We looked at the books, the golf course was losing money. We said this doesn't make sense. You guys keep the golf course, thank you very much, and we're not interested. And then the talks continued, the finance guy came over, more board members came over. And they basically said, hey, get the golf course. It'll help the town with losing money, and the golf course is losing money. But that's how this whole affair started. Then we got into this, who's Patriot Hills LLC, and why he wants to do the golf course. So I don't know if you guys know anything about me on the personal side. I've been very ill for 8 years, to the extent that if I didn't get my surgery done in 2019 November, so when I tell people that, hey, I want to give back, they're like, why? Well, we've been giving back for the past 25 years, right? You can speak to Dr. Baston from RCC, a lot of kids through college. We don't announce it. We help a lot of kids in general. We do a lot of stuff for Stony Point. We don't like to announce ourselves. We just want to do what we want to do. Unfortunately, I get into the limelight because everybody thought that the concept of here is giving money by the golf course instead of to the wrong people. Right? This is where this whole thing has started. Now, the golf course, again, everybody thinks that the golf course is making money. God bless. If that's what you think it's making money, go look at the books because we're funding it. Funding at $1.6 million and we've been doing it. The initial reason for building the golf course was you were supposed to do 16,000 rounds to make money. You've never done 60,000 rounds, period. The maximum you've done is 33,000. Okay? And then also, it's been subsidized for the Stony Point residents. So now, the biggest concept is I'm going to take this golf course and I'm going to sell it to the wrong people. Well, first of all, I'm willing to give a personal guarantee that I'm not going to sell the golf. That's one. I'm willing to give the town the opportunity, if they believe that I'm looking to sell the golf course, that they can buy it first, back. I don't know what else I got to do to guarantee that this golf course is not for sale. The question is, if you guys want us to have it or you don't want us to have it. Our concept is to give it back. Whatever money we make in the golf course, I want to give back to everyone. Not. I sit on a lot of board in Rockland County, and all I hear is how not Rockland is terrible because they want that this business come in, that business come in, this would happen, that would happen. But the reality of life is, I don't know why they don't do it, but there's a lot of opportunities that do come our way that we turn down. The golf course needs a lot of money. And if somebody understands the golf course, I spent the last almost 4 years, this March will be 4 years on this golf course. I spent a lot of time on the golf course. Does anybody know how many bunkers are on the golf course? No? Okay, 84 bunkers, that's $2 million worth of repairs. Because when you go in there, there's nothing but water now, because there's no drainage system. The golf course itself has not been maintained. The town does not have the equipment to buy. The gentleman that works at the golf course was somebody that we introduced to the town because we were supposed to close on it, who has made the golf course look a lot more nicer, and he comes from Sleepy Hollow, Evan. And let me tell you something, the golf course is beginning to look a lot more nicer than it's ever done in the past. But yet, they don't have money to buy equipment. How are you going to continue maintaining it? Right. So, the house, the clubhouse needs approximately $4.5 to $5 million. The golf course needs about $8.5 to $9 million to really bring it back up to where it's supposed to be. So now you guys tell me what you would like to do. I can walk away, or I can stay and do this. Because you want us to. And then nobody wants to count the fact that to take the buildings down, it's going $500,000. You need $2.5 million just to do the infrastructure. You don't have proper drainage. You don't have proper electrical. You have one line that runs across, and then they split it between 10 buildings. They don't have any space. There's a lot of work that's needed, right? So when they brought it to our attention, I live in Stony Point. It made logical sense to go and do the golf course. It's a passion. It's not something that I need to do for fun. I can technically retire whenever I want. But I'm 55 years old. I don't need to retire. So, and what am I going to do? Just look at the front yard and do nothing about it? I have a driving. Yeah, but still, you know what? I like to be involved. I like passion. I don't know. Do you guys know Crocker Mansion in Lava, New Jersey? Rio Vista? So I have a good friend, Vinny Lava Mary. We redid that Crocker Mansion for $55 million. We spent 4.5 years, and I did for passion. I didn't do for money. So I used to go with Vinny, who was the builder, and I used to go there and say, okay, we should do it this way because if we get this, this is going to happen. And it took us 4 years. It was on sale for $85 million. I don't know what happened to it. I haven't kept in touch with the owner, but this is who I am. So you guys, like I was telling Dr. Julian, it's very simple. You guys pull me into this political fight. I don't need to be there. I'm a simple guy. I like to stay under the radar. If you want to find out who I am, pick up the phone, call the CEO of T-Mobile. They'll tell you who I am. I don't need to tell people who I am. I am who I am, and I'm always going to be who I am. I grew up in a Catholic school. You know, I know what life is all about because I experienced near death. So, if I can fuel my passion, that's great. Let's talk about Camp Boulevard. I saw a sign the other day, save Camp Boulevard. Well, who do you think brought Camp Boulevard to the town's attention? I bought it a month before you guys came to me. Now, you don't think that I could have said, hey, keep this quiet, let me wait for it. No. I went to the town, I said, I think you should buy it. And the town said to me, what if we don't have enough money? I said, I'll back up the difference for you. So you can buy it. And you're welcome to ask this question. Why do I need to do that? Because it saves us from the wrong people. So we're in contract right now, but I guess we have to wait for the referendum and let the residents decide what they want to do. How can you help? By saying yes. Well, if the people that's going to say no should have a reason why they say no.
They don't have enough information.
So,
opposition, and this is the first time I've met you guys. We had a pleasant conversation a moment ago. You're my neighbor. Everything you've said is totally consistent with my beliefs. Let me state something. I've been campaigning, I've been talking to people, and I've gotten a lot of people that know you personally and say what a great guy you are. Upstanding, glowing, everything. So, and I kind of assume that, but I hear that from other people, so it's corroborating that you're a good guy. And two is, my speculation, and you just confirmed it, is that the town board, or two members of the town board, came to you asking for help. And as a good citizen of this town, you have offered to help. So that's item number two. Item number three is, I don't think the referendum vote, and as you know, I'm the attorney that helped the people who have signed the petition, yet, so we actually do have a referendum vote. I don't think the people who are voting against you, or even necessarily voting against the project. And the reason I'm disliking the whole thing is not from your standpoint, but from the town board standpoint, the lack of transparency. Because what should happen governmentally is the town board should have openly said, we have a problem with finances of the golf course, and for example, we'll request go out to bids, go out to proposals in an open way, in which case, if nobody else showed up and only you did, fine. If other people showed up, there would be discussion about your abilities and capabilities versus other people. So that's the problem, the lack of transparency. And then the last thing for me as a lawyer is, for example, your proposal, I would be, maybe not have, I'm not going to say whether I have, I might have some because my father's part of the golf committee, golf course, I played on it, and I love the golf course, I like the idea of it, public. So I have some personal biases there. But just from a legal point of view, right now your LLC can, let's say it's 5 years from now, you pass the LLC on to other people, they can sell to anyone. And that property is worth $100 million. If somebody came to you and said, I'll pay you $100 million so I can put in, I did some housing and business college there. How are you going to turn that down? You're going to say, no, I don't sell to people who are Orthodox? You're not going to do that. So my point is, if the contract had been a lease, for example, have deed restrictions, so that it wasn't a personal guarantee, that it was something that would bind future sellers, it's a lot less protected. So what I would suggest to you is the referendum vote is not a vote no to you. The referendum vote, if it is a no, will be, I'm out. We have to have an open discussion, maybe have bids, and then you come right back to the table. But then it's open, and we have some legal protections to protect the town's future. So that's my concern.
You know, and thank you, because it's not only to hear your thought process on this, right? Your concern is valid. What happens 5 years from today? It's never a valid concern. Maybe we should sit down and address that. If that's what your concern is, let's address that. Because I don't intend to sell. Let's get one thing straight. And that's how I look at life. It's not about money. It's about the pride of Stony Point for me. I'll tell you something you may not use. Okay? I can forward a contract to you for my Nigerian friends. I have a contract to sell my house for $40 million. You can speak to my attorney and you can see the contract. I turned it down. It's a Nigerian prince. They contacted me. They insisted on seeing the house, and the man said finally, I'll give you what you want. And I said, it's not for sale because this is my home. This is my backyard. So if it was money, things would be a little different. I want to let you know something. The ARC building in town is 82,000 square feet. I just bought that. Why would I buy? My building in Nanuet, my son's buying a house in New City. I want to build him a house here. Why would I want to sell if I live here? That's the first question.
Once again, I have no response to you personally.
No, and I respect that. I do respect that. And I really thank you for saying that because it means a lot. But why am I being dragged into political fight? I understand that the town made an error. You can't blame me for it. Yes.
There's a difference between private and public. This town is not subsidizing the golf course. This town voted in a bond to buy and keep that land open in behalf of the people of Stony Point. So to use the word subsidize is really inappropriate because, and there's, you seem to think that political is wrong, but political is what happens when you engage in government. And we created a bond, we're $1.2 million away from owning that property. And again, Mike is absolutely right. You could be the most philanthropic you are. You could be the most philanthropic person. But the point is, when you look at the contract and that you created with the IDA, there was an opportunity for you to say, everything that you propose, I'm going to give it back to the people. When you deal with government, you put things in writing. And governments change, you might change, switch ownership, but to ensure that the people have a stake in that which is public, we have to have guarantees. You say you want to write a new contract, well, you can't go, we only can operate and vote on what's on paper now. And what's on paper now doesn't completely correspond to what you just said. If you want to give this land back to the people and have a perpetual lease, that's reasonable. So I think we have a difference in opinion. I don't think politics is bad. That's what governments do to protect people. And again, it's not a business deal. This is the public ownership that we voted on to have. And many of us are going to vote to no on the contract because we want to keep that land covered. It's nothing to do with you and what you propose. But in terms of even the buildings, there's no assurances in the contract that you will take those buildings down.
It is in the contract.
No, it's not in the contract. And you can keep those buildings up.
100% the contract. You need to read the contract again. It's in the contract, the buildings.
Yeah, we have a little error here, sorry. Misspoken.
It's in the contract that the
Something as a very, not a lawyer, just a regular citizen. Why do we have the right to decide who to sell in 5 years? We don't have a right to sell who, the people on 210 who sold their house. They can sell their house to whoever they want to. Why can't you buy this and then sell to whoever you want? Why do we have a stake in that?
Because we own it.
We paid $25 million.
Just to be clear, one question at a time.
We'll never be able to keep it up. The town can't even keep up with what it has. So this, to me, is only an improvement to what our town needs and has. You don't even want to sell it, but why do we have the right to tell you who to sell it? It's now yours.
Okay, so historically, and you can look this up, anything that I have bought, I've never sold. Period. No matter what I bought, I've never sold. I bought it because I enjoy it. I didn't buy it because I'm looking to flip it. Because I'm not dependent on that money, and I don't have any rental income from anything other than my own building that gives me rent. Because my office, my ARC, Highland Medical, which is a part of Montreal High, wants to come and rent that space. Currently, I gave it to part of Rockland for free for 1 year, so that they don't get pushed out of their own building, that they can eventually find a building, which they found in Valley Cottage, and I helped them. Paul Ladd will help us find a nice building for them. I went to the town the other day to help them with construction, right? Because I also sit on Blackstone Retail Council, right? I don't want to sell the golf course. I want to take it from day one. I've said I want to make it semi-private. The reason why I said semi-private is I have a lot of connections where people come in. 60 to 75% of your people come from outside Rockland to play golf. Right? You have a lot of Koreans that come from Jersey. So if you get, and I have friends, a good example, I have friends that came in from Long Island yesterday to play on that golf course. Right? I called Dave first when I said, Dave, my friends want tea time. He goes, no problem. I said, here's my credit card on file. Whenever you need to charge it, you charge it. You're welcome to put on this bills because we paid for it. We're not asking for anything for free. The reality of life is, golf course is one problem that's pulling money. What about the sewer district that we need to create by March of 2022? That's a $5 million expense. Do we have it? No. The police department doesn't have enough cars. The ambulance corps is falling apart because they're bankruptcy. So if I can help a little bit here, a little bit there, maybe we can all come together as Stony Pointers and make this right. And it's not, listen, I'm open to having a conversation with them. But at least...
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
I just, as a concerned citizen, and we have all paid $25 million into the city, so it's free right now. But aside from that, you know, I am of the opinion, having seen the numbers that Stony Point Strong and Stony Point United have gathered over years about the income of the golf course, or people that are there that are being paid exorbitant amount of money to run it. It's the only income producing asset that our town has publicly. So if they need a snowplow, if they need a bond, which by the way in 2019 it was assessed at $13 million because they were looking to get a bond. So it is an asset income producing. So typically when you have that kind of an asset, you're very careful about what you do with it. So it's not about Raj and all the wonderful things he wants to do. Of course, everybody, including myself, wants to see great development and solid, investment in infrastructure in this town. But it's an income-producing large piece of land. 6 out of the 10 buildings that are currently standing there are used by the public citizens of Stony Point and the town. The courthouse, the rec center. I know Raj is going to build another rec center. But at the end of the day, they're talking about all these buildings. It's not just about the golf course. It's about the other acreage that we're selling with it, which is valuable. Land does not depreciate, so you have to consider that. So at the same time, those 6 out of 6, and we would have to then pay rent to Raj for the use of, if we stay there, for the courthouse and other buildings. So it's going to also cost us money.
Excuse me, let me correct you. That's incorrect.
That's in the contract.
No, it's not.
I read the contract.
It's a $1 a year.
No, $9,000 a month for the courthouse.
No, after a certain amount of time.
If they don't leave.
If they don't leave.
Correct.
No, let's clarify that. Let's clarify. First of all, your information is 1,000,000% incorrect.
But if,
1 million.
if we
I'm not even
stay
saying.
there, I'm asking
It,
okay.
let me explain. The courthouse has to move because you're selling the land to us. I gotta take the buildings down. I can't have the courthouse there where the rest of the buildings are down, correct?
Correct.
So I can't build what I'm looking to build.
I'm not, yes.
Right? The courthouse has said that in 2 years they'll leave. So now,
They rent somewhere else, correct.
no, hold on. No. So let's say this gentleman becomes the new supervisor,
Okay.
right? We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, right? So he becomes a new supervisor and says, okay, I'm not leaving. Well, the $9,000 is forcing you to leave because now I'm stuck with a piece of land that I spend $10 million to keep away and take down
I hear
with
you.
one building in the middle.
I agree.
So there is the 2 years that you're operating there, there's a zero cost to you from us. Zero.
For the first 2 years.
Yeah, but the town said they'll move in 2 years. So if you don't move if you don't move in 2 years, we're going to say, okay, after a certain time, there'll be a certain thing forcing you to move, right?
Yes, I
West Point to the north, Hudson River to the east, Herman Park to the west. We live in a post-COVID world. This is a business association. In my opinion, what we need is people with brains like you, business brains like you, mind of brain power. Right now, we're like in a little battle, but the war is the future of the town and doing bigger things. So, for example, all the little skirmishes that were issues discussing here, I think all of this can be part of a bigger discussion, like an economic master plan for the town, where we look at, and not do it rushed. Right now we're doing it rushed. No, we have to say no or yes to one. I mean, I think the voters need to say no. So we do a reset on this. But we need people like you with your brain power about business so that we can address all these things. So what you just said a moment ago, to me, sounds like the major problem with the town is town board mismanagement. They don't have a business view of how to have this town be economically successful with a long-term vision for the benefit of the town. As simple as something like Bullowa. They kept Bullowa secret. They didn't have they had a primary election of the Republican Party, and they did not even discuss Bullowa, even though the supervisor knew about it. Shame on them, because that should have been discussed. And I propose a simple answer to Bullowa. Town board, and the town supervisor tells me, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have a clue his words. It's like, oh, Mr. Supervisor, you're the town board. You have the authority to regulate land. Just zone Bullowa as parkland with recreational use. Zone it for what it's used for right now. You can do that legally, you can do it constitutionally, and it solves the problem. But because we're in a partisan world, it's, oh, I can't be right because I'm the opposite political party. So all these issues like that, what we need is people with brain power and in an impartial way, not partisan way, put their heads together and say what works for the town. So I think we need you to reset and work with, help us with the town after election day to revisit this whole thing and see what works. That's what it's like.
Yeah. Two more questions, Steve Parth and then Mr. Cerati. So first, Steve.
As I introduced myself, I'm the county's industrial development agency, but I'm taking that off putting a Stony Point resident. I live here in Stony Point. I know there's been a lot of discussion as far as what Raj is buying, what his plans are, the debate about that. There's a good, healthy discussion. But I'm concerned if you don't sell the golf course, I kind of see what happens then. I'm a golfer. I play that golf course. I realize the town doesn't have the money to put into the golf course it needs to. And as a golfer, this is just about golf, so I'm going to go beyond the bigger points. But I see the golf course as a golfer who plays a regularly deteriorating. It's getting seedy. They just don't have it. The guys that run that golf course are doing a great job holding it together with no money, but you can see the decay happening. Like the bunkers, the greens, it's going to need money that the town doesn't have. That's concerning. I see a clubhouse. There's no grill room. There's no place to have a refreshment before or after. There's no place to have a bite to eat. There doesn't seem to be any money for that. A catering hall that's sitting empty, a building that's deteriorating. So I see that as a golfer. I say this is what, and then the Letchworth buildings are slowly but surely falling apart. I know the row building needs a new roof, plus a lot of infrastructure work. The Kirkbride Hall needs money. I've seen these buildings slowly deteriorate, and some of them have to be fenced because they're unsafe. And I'm worried, okay, so don't sell the golf course. What is we as a town, what do we do about that? Borrow more money? Is that the answer? And I don't have the answers for that, but those are the concerns I have. You say if we don't aggressively
Only one more question, Mr. Cerati, and then go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just want to add something. You need to go back to the town and the labels. I highly urge you to do that. No. You need to go back. Then you need to sit with an accountant who can explain this to you. Well, you're putting $1.6 million. You're putting $1.6 million from the general funds. Putting $1.6 million from the general funds for the past 6 years. I understand that. So you're paying from the bond by using the tax money to pay for the bond, correct? So let me finish. If a business is done the right way, you should make enough revenue for you to pay for that, not borrow again. So you took a bond to pay for something, and then you're increasing taxes to pay for that bond. You're doing a vicious circle that you're not going anywhere.
Okay, but it's paid off.
And then what? You still don't have money to maintain it.
The problem is right now, this is a longer conversation than we
Yeah.
obviously want.
And last question to Mr. Sarati. I'm sorry, it's past 9 o'clock. So you had a question there? Yeah.
We don't sit together, so let me finish. We don't sit together as a group, right, number one, right? This town, I've been here since North Province since I was 13 years old, right? There's certain people that don't like change, right? But if we don't change, we'll get buried, right? That's the bottom
But
line.
Republicans signed
Right?
the petition.
It doesn't matter what it is yet.
It's land use, it's not living.
No one's sticking together as a team, right? That's where we're getting buried. So don't listen to what's going on here.
It's on the website for online.
Here it is again. We have town board, all right, that don't know left from right, number one. They're not businessmen, right? They're politicians. Well, they're trying to be politicians, okay? That's another thing. When you start taking buildings down over here on the main road, your tax revenue, they kill them. They kill the buildings over there too. Roy's, right? Roy, whatever it is. They did that too, right? No brand, no one to think, right? Getting crushed.
All right.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we have to end. It's 9:05.
I just want to say one.
Yeah, and I had a quick thing. If you can just end also with your vision for not just the golf course, but you mentioned like other development and like for instance different types of like you mentioned the convention hall, anything like that.
I actually lost my sorry. That's fine. Just to again go back to this golf course. They want us to build a conference center, which would bring more people to Rockland. Just to let you know, four times Rich Calden, prior to COVID, has come and met with the town, right? And met with Dave Fusco, and they've talked about building a building. The reason I didn't push it anymore is because where they want to see the Hudson River. And I can't do that because we have neighbors that are going to get inconvenienced. So we said to them, if you guys want to build, you can take the first property before the courthouse to build a beautiful building. You can't go towards the clubhouse because that's how it is designed, right? We don't want to disturb the apple cart if you don't have to. The other thing is, I want to know three more things. I went for the seniors, right? So I don't know. When I moved from Sandy Fields Lane to my house, I made surgery. I was putting a pool in, and I came to know from Supervisor Jeff Finn that the kiddie pool they don't have money for 2 years. The 2-year and younger, the kiddie pool they don't have money for. That you know what they have to figure out a way how to get funded. I went up there and I said, I will fund it for you, right? I wrote a check for $70,000, which was obviously for her, right? But I never asked for anything in return, period. Now everybody says, well, you know, what happens if I tax this? I pay $168,000 in taxes. Why should I pay $168,000? Because now I'm subsidizing my golf course with my own money too, right? And I'm not a golfer. And my kids don't go to school here anymore. They're all young men, right? So this is not, like you said, this is not about, I appreciate the fact that there is a disconnect in the town, but the fact is we are one because Stony Point is where we live. And we want to make this a better place to live. We want more revenues so the taxes get lower. Our goal is, I don't really, look, I'll say this. There's red and there's blue. Well, what about red, white, and blue? What about America? Our goal is to make sure that we do this right. right? And I'm open to having a conversation. Tell me what you guys need. If I was looking to sell this, I don't need to have a conversation. I'm a businessman, but I'm willing to work with you guys to say, what can we do? I have an approval to build townhomes out there. The town said, I don't think that's a good idea. And we never talked about it again. We're not building townhomes. How about a senior facility? You guys know where I live. You know the way I maintain my property. Give me an opportunity. Have faith in me. If you feel or Dr. Gillian feel, I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk. I don't have an issue. My issue is, don't drag me into the political fight. I don't like that feeling because that's not who I am. I'm a businessman. I go to business, I do my business, I come back home. This gentleman left a message for me. He told Senator Scoofus that I have a message. The message was on my main line that I heard 6 months later while I was cleaning the message. It's on my home phone number. I don't listen to my home phone number. So Senator Scoofus told me that Greg Gillian wants to meet with me. I said, I'm okay. I don't have an issue. If you feel that you have a different drive than I do, let's come together. The fight is not between you and me. The fight is to protect Stony Point, right? And if you believe that there's a different value of you protecting Stony Point, then let's talk about it. Rather than say I'm selling it to the wrong people, because that's not what I'm looking to do.
And by the way, I've written a lot of this, and I've had no personal attack.
I totally understand. And I'll tell you something. As much as I'll say this, even Mr. Patanovic has no personal attack against me, because that's who I am. I don't go to Facebook and tell people what they want to hear. I just want to tell the people the tree will rise to the top. And I know this for a fact, because I tell the truth. And I'm telling in front of everybody, and this is being recorded, I'll be more than happy to sit with you guys and have a conversation how we can make Stony Point a better place. Because it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about Stony Point.
All right, we're going to end on that. All right.
Again, thank you very much. And Dr. Gillian, again, I'll be more than happy to sit with you and Mike and have a conversation. Tell me what you guys think. Don't drag the political side into it. I'm a businessman. I like business. To me, like I said, I'll say it one more time. It's not Greg, it's not me. It's Greg White. What can we do together to grow our country and our backyard?
All right.
Is that fair? Any more questions, guys?
All right.